Hello, everybody, and welcome back. As many of you regulars will know, we've been going about 12 months now, a little bit more than 12 months. So most of you could know how the sightings come in and how we find them, and the strange synchronicities that happen. And when I did Ben Emlyn's show just 2 weeks ago, I think it was now, we did have a flood of reports from people, which is absolutely wonderful, and I am going to bring them all to you. But I got chatting to a wonderful guy. His name's Nick Hayes, and he had an experience. It's very similar to some of the other ones on the map where you can't actually see what you're being shadowed by. And we enter them on the map because it's a behavioural thing. Lots and lots of people are having the same experience. And Nick's happened in the live ballet, and he has recorded with Ben. He's done his own interview, and I've included the link to that in the description. So if you want to hear Nick speak in his own words, it's probably better if you click onto that and go and have a listen. But I was fortunate enough that he said I could share it with you here, and I think for a couple of people it will make them think, well, actually, yeah, that is exactly the same thing that happened to me. But I'm hoping it will also reach other people out there who will A, have seen something in the Live Valley or experienced something there, or B, experience a similar situation anywhere across the UK. So this is Nick's account in his words, and it says, I was living in the area at the time, and myself and then my then partner would often visit the woods at night. We used to go down there all the time, late at night together, and we often saw orbs of light moving above the river, as well as through the wooded area. And although we never experienced anything as scary as my encounter that evening, when I was walking down to Corley for band practice, it was in 1997, and I'm still trying to come to terms with it to this day. I experienced something that still puzzles me. I was running a bit late for a band practice at my mate's house down in Corley, Oxford. The journey involved getting on a bus down at the bottom of Corley Road and then walking quite a distance to his house, roughly a 40-minute journey. I would sometimes walk down a nature reserve called the Lye Valley, which was a nice walk during the daytime, and I could get to my mate's house in about 25 minutes and save the bus fare and get in a walk. And that night, the walk was along a small track that went downhill quite gradually, and eventually a steep bank appears on both sides of you. And as you walk deeper into the valley, the banks going up each side were getting quite steep and full of trees and brush. And this particular night, it was already getting dark, but I decided to take the shortcut anyway, as the actual Lye Valley walk is only about 15 or 20 minutes long. And then you can get up onto the golf course and head down Marsh Road where my mate lived at the time. So I was about 10 minutes into the walk, and it was quite dark and I couldn't see very much as the trees were on either side of me at this point, blocking out what little light there was left in the twilight sky. I suddenly became aware of something to my left, about 20 feet away from me, and walking parallel with me, perhaps halfway up the bank amongst the trees. I instantly got that fear and a feeling of dread. I suddenly stopped, and whatever it was did an extra crunch as it took another step, and then it too was still. I started walking faster, and so did this thing. It was stalking me, so I stopped suddenly again, and again this thing did a few more steps, as I think it didn't realise I had stopped, as I stopped so suddenly trying to catch it out. I picked up the pace and stopped one more time all of a sudden, and this thing did another few steps, and then it snarled. It reminded me of a programme I saw on the Beast of Bray Road and other wolf dog-like creatures that people had come into contact with in the USA, where they recreated a snarling sound to go with the reenactment of people's experiences. It sounded exactly like that. It made the hair stand up on my neck, and I got an instant flight or fight feeling, as I could tell it was slightly in front of me by now, and the track it was on met the track I was just about to go on to go around the corner, in the direction I was heading, where the walk met the golf course. It was really out of a way area. No one was around, and I knew that something bad would probably happen if I carried on walking towards the golf course. I turned around and ran as fast as I could back to Wood Farm and the safety of the built up area. I didn't see the thing stalking me as it was dark, but even when a few of the distant streetlights above the valley lit up some of the trees, I couldn't see anything. But it was definitely sounded bipedal, and the growl it made when it realised I had worked out it was stalking me was blood curdling, and it freaked me out big time, more than anything I have ever experienced. I haven't dared go back there since, and that was about 15 years ago or more. I've told a few close friends, but I haven't told anyone else. The whole experience really scared me, and to be quite honest, I wouldn't dare go down there at night by myself at all. Just thinking of it makes me a bit on edge, and my body reacts to the fear of that night. And even after all these years, it would be great to hear of someone else who had a similar incident down there at the Lye Valley. And as I said, he did record his account, and I put the link in. It's on Ben Emlyn's channel, but I put the link in the description so you can find it. And I'm very grateful to speak to Nick, because on checking the map, it's easy to see how this account fits in with many of the other reports of hidden growlers or people who have been shadowed by invisible beings. To be honest, I also have experienced this myself, knowing something's in the greenery beside you, and each step you take is copied by something you just can't see. It's not the nicest of feelings and leaves you with more questions than answers. There are many accounts like this, and I've included a map link here for anyone who would like to check out their area for any accounts close by. I would also be interested in anyone close to this area that may have witnessed anything strange or out of the ordinary. I do have another account to come other than the Mickleton Howler, and I'm going to bring it to you this week, and it's of a golden coloured animal that stays down on all fours, and the witness said it was not a cat and it was not a dog, but I'll bring that to you shortly. It's a very interesting area. If you have a look on the map, it's an exciting account for me because it lines up two corridors, and any account that does that is just wonderful. I can see a corridor that passes Cheltenham, and I can see a corridor that heads from the south up the Chiltern Hills to the area of natural beauty there. And this account is basically, smack bang where I need it to be to kind of fill in a gap. So it fills in lots of gaps for me. And I did say I'm going to go through the map and I'm going to see just how many of these invisible stalker accounts there are, because I think they need to be together so that when you read them, you can see how many other people are actually experiencing this. Some people hear heavy thumps as if there's actual feet behind them. Lots and lots of accounts have been shadowed and not being able to see what was moving in the brush at the side of you. I think that comes up in a lot of the accounts, and the regular viewers will know that. So it's something that we can work on. And like I say, if there's anyone out there that can get in touch and can shine a little bit of light on this, we would be incredibly grateful. And pop over to Nick's website and have a look for yourselves. He's got some interesting photographs there. A few of the guys are thinking about doing the same kind of photography using spectrum light, and Nick's done that, so you might find that of an interest as well. And he's an interesting guy to talk to. I really enjoy talking to him, to be honest, and I hope we'll chat again at some point. So until next time, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in, and good night.